preparation is the key to performance.
Right.
That's the number one tool to everything. Anything can happen in a fight, but when you prepare properly, you've crossed all your T's, dotted all your I's, you put yourself in the best position to win, whether it be a fight or whether it be an exam, whether it be in life. The most important thing is making sure you leave nothing, no stone unturned.
Right.
That you prepare properly.
Discipline trumps motivation.
100%. Proper recovery is just as important as training hard. You know, you can wrestle all you want in practice. You go to your first tournament, you get nervous. You got to go to the bathroom like 10 times before your match.
Right.
You don't sleep the night before. These are variables you wouldn't have when you're going into a regular wrestling practice. I mean, you want to work on your strengths, but also people. That's another thing, is that people in their own training like to stay in their comfort zone. So again, getting you out of your comfort zone as much as possible in practice is the most important thing. But a lot of people are very comfortable doing what they like doing.
Right.
But they don't. That's actually another thing that some of the greats do, is they'll focus on what they're bad at. George being one of them, is that George put himself in situations where he wrestled with the national wrestling team. He did his jiu-jitsu with the top black belts in. So he would get dominated in all these aspects, but it shaped him into the best fighter in the entire world.
Right.
Visualizing your match, visualizing what could go right, what could go wrong. That's a big aspect, is a lot of times people just visualize the good part about their match, how their exam's going to go, but they don't visualize the bad parts.
Right.
So that being important.
Why is that important?
Because what happens is, as an athlete, when you get into a situation where you have never experienced something, whether it be fatigue, whether it be an injury, your body doesn't really know how to react. So you panic. And when you panic, you get tired. When you get tired, so everything sort of compounds itself. So again, preparing yourself for the worst,
right,
as well as preparing yourself for the best, is very important. I've realized that and I realized this very early, thank God, is that I don't believe in cookie cutter programs. Cookie cutter program is everybody in this room, we basically all do the same thing. And what happens with that is that X amount of percent are going to succeed, X amount of percent are going to stay the same, and X amount of percent are going to get worse.
Exactly. And they're taking a chance.
Exactly.
And that's, where beautiful things happen.
Well, when you take risks, whether you succeed or you fail, it opens you up to, number one, if you fail, you get to either cower, or you get to be a hero, and you overcome that failure, and it's a building block. And if you succeed, you just build on those. You have to have failure and success.
100%. Awesome. What advice would you give, the next generation of elite performers, let's call it?
Advice. I think a lot of what we're talking about is preparation. But if we're talking about sport, or we're talking about life?
Let's go with life.
Life. Again, it's not just studying what you're going into. You need to have a wide array of disciplines that mold you into, whether you're going to business. You're not. Let's say you're going into a certain business. You won't just study that business, but you'll study successful people in different areas of life, and mold yourself into one entrepreneur. Or in business, in sport, it's like saying, if I train a hockey player, he just goes on the ice and that's it. No, he has to come to the gym. He has to do the mental preparation. He has to have a sensible diet. There's other aspects of I don't know what you would call it, the preparation that you'd have to put into being a successful X of whatever you're going to do.
Awesome. I got a couple of pictures that I want to show you from the gym. Okay. So we got this one over here. Gym's littered with quotes, beautiful quotes. Sometimes when you're kind of catching your breath, it brings that extra oomph.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, it's not there. There's no traffic on the extra mile.
What does that mean?
Well, a lot of people always want excuses. So the extra mile is going that extra little bit, and that's what separates the average from the elite.
Right.
No matter how much you think you know nothing. and there's always people you can learn from. I've had interns come in that have learned something from another coach over the years that I sort of catch, that I sort of like a version of what they're doing, and I take. So, you know, having some kind of routine is, again, set a roadmap no matter what. So if I have a competition that I want to compete in, let's say a year from now, I should have some kind of roadmap, and then there will be turns in that roadmap. We're not going to go A to Z directly,
Right.
but if you have the roadmap set, it's easier to get into those detours.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah.
Aspect of it. So again, if you're going to do something, you do it. And you make a commitment too. So anything you commit to, you got to do. If it's a team, if it's a school project, there's no, once you say you're not going to do it one time, you've opened up that door to always allowing yourself to take off or take it easy or take a break. And it's not no days off, but it's, if you commit to something, or if you make it a point that you're going to do, if you are going to a class or you're going to an event, or you always make sure that you attend and you're present for, if you have a team, you better be there for your teammates. If you're by yourself, you better be self-driven, because if you don't, there's people who are going to take your place.